Okay. Seems we are live and clicking. Let me just go and take a look on YouTube. That's where we roll. Yep. All right, great. So, Rocketeers, welcome to another great live session. And this time we have an SEO veteran with us who has built great SEO products for all the SEOs, agencies, marketers, and has an immense experience in the industry. He has been there for long. Let's welcome Jeremy from Rocket. Jeremy, we are glad that you took some time out of your schedule to kind of address the Rocketeers and welcome in the lifetime to the space. We are happy to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So how's it going at your end? Where are you based right now?
I'm in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and aside from the rain that we've had for the last several weeks, things are going very well.
Oh, nice. I think it's rain. Sorry, it's rain weather all across the world right now. So yeah, it's great to see people, coming out of the heat and going for the next vacations forward. So yeah, good to have you here. So give everyone an idea, right? Where did you start from, and how did you enter the SEO world? And how did you build keyword reviewer and sold it? So if you can give an idea, and then how did the idea of link rocket came into picture? So from start to here, let's understand your world.
Sure. So I've run a digital marketing agency for probably around 13 or 14 years now. Um, I stumbled across Keyword Revealer in its kind of early infancy. It was a free tool, very basic keyword research, and found it very useful, in my own business, and slowly kind of formed this partnership, bought my way in, and we ended up growing that tool over the next 5 years or so. And then in 2019, we sold the business. I believe it's still being run today by a new owner, and took some time to kind of do some real estate stuff. Got out of the software space, and then a common issue I think that a lot of agencies and SEOs have was how to scale link building. That was something that just kept coming up over and over, especially for small businesses, local businesses. They don't have $1,000 a month budget to just go blow on links, plus all of the other on-page stuff, content writing, and so forth. So, in this age with AI popping up, I think several things just sort of fell into place, and I decided it was time to build a solution for it. I found myself in a lot of these Facebook and Discord groups where people are, mainly agency owners, were exchanging backlinks. So I'd kind of share a few clients. Hey, I've got clients in the home services niche. And then you'd respond and say, me too. And we'd message each other back and forth and maybe, build links to each other's clients. It was very time consuming. And if I had, high authority websites and you had, for lack of better terms, junk websites, the whole deal fell apart because, you needed to have something that was valuable to me and vice versa. So, we basically built Link Rocket to solve this whole issue. And the credit system that it's based on solves the issue of you give something to me, I give something back to you. So, basically you could build a backlink for me, and then you would get credits, and then you can use those credits and request a backlink from anyone else in the platform. The transaction does not have to be between you and I. So, that was really what we felt would kind of change that whole relationship. And then we bring in various metrics and things, to show you the authority the categories. That way you don't have to go look up all of these websites manually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So you can kind of see and get a feel for the quality of the website before requesting a backlink from them.
Hmm. Got it. Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you for sharing your journey. And I think the backlinks, off page, and link building is very complex. I think it keeps on changing. I think it's more dynamic than even the on page stuff which people do. People
Mhm.
don't know, but how I think there's not a lot of news about backlinks these days. But what do you think about the importance of a very good high quality links still now? I mean, because there have been rumors. I mean, it's not confirmed news, but the people think that backlinks don't matter a lot, but I think they still matter a lot. Like a good
Yeah.
referral, do follow link from a high 90 DR site is a I can people pay like 5,000, $10,000 for just one link. So I
Yeah.
think that the value still remains. But you have been in the industry since long. You have seen going from like I think the penguin updates, the helpful content update, all those updates. What do you think about it? How has it evolved, and how is the importance right now for it?
Yeah. So I think, SEO really starts with high quality content. You don't want to just
Yeah,
be, I think 5, 10 years ago, people were just writing manually the same
yeah,
nonsense over and over. And now we're just using AI to write the same stuff over and over. So the biggest thing is having a unique take on a certain topic, maybe writing
yeah,
something a little controversial, just being different and coming at things from a different angle holds a lot of weight. Bringing in research and data that no one else has can be a good strategy. And then once you have that unique, high quality content, building links to it is like, sort of turbocharging that content. And a lot of people, you mentioned DR, and we have the metrics for domain authority and authority score from SEMrush. You know, some people get really hung up and tied to those metrics, and they are just third party metrics. DA specifically can be manipulated pretty easily.
mm,
So we always tell
yeah,
people like it's a guide, but not to pay too much attention, or not to put all your eggs in those baskets. We've seen if you get backlinks from websites that are really in line with your niche, um, they could be, a DA 15, 20, 25. If you're a brand new website or a low quality or low authority local business, that still has a lot of weight. And strategically building these links into your internal pages can do wonders for rankings. And we've kind of seen that over and over.
yeah. And I think glad you mentioned about the internal linking of those articles and blog posts, because what I've seen is people exchange links. They just have, let's say, a guest post given, and then on the guest post they have the do follow link, but they don't ask the publisher that, hey, are you going to drive some internal links? Are you going to like have these articles kind of getting from somewhere? Otherwise, that just having a link and then getting a do follow, that isn't just a value, but it should be referred even from within the website. So I think that's everyone should do. They should ask when they're doing these exchanges that will you be doing this or not, right? I mean, to ensure that they're getting the full value of, let's say if they've paid for it, they'll get the full value for that particular transaction.
Yeah, and I think it has to do with, just and I think you're referring to building the link into an internal page rather than a homepage.
Yeah,
um, just making it look natural. If you have a website or a blog that's talking about cleaning services, and you link to
yeah,
someone's homepage, it doesn't really look as natural as um, you linking to an internal post on that website that talks about maybe tips for keeping your kitchen clean or something like that, because
mm,
you're really, Google's looking at it as, okay, they're saying this is a valuable resource on a specific topic, but then you just link to a homepage which is like, you know marketing
No, yeah,
usually doesn't go in depth on something.
yeah,
So, linking into a deep article that is really in line
mm,
with what that article is discussing,
mm.
um, I think will hold a lot more weight.
Awesome. Cool. That was a great small trivia, small value given by Jeremy because we told you all you would learn more about link building on this session. So Jeremy, let's get to the meat. Let's show all of them how powerful Link Rocket is. You can start sharing your screen, and everyone is ready. Everyone is very excited for this. So let's see. And it's one of the thing is dashboard is very cool. I mean, we've seen some dashboards of SEO software. No one understands where to go and do that. So if you go into Ahrefs right now, it's tough to see where you start from. It's like all thousands of links
Yeah.
everywhere, but it's very easy. I think Jeremy has categorized all of it, so it's pretty easy to start. So awesome. This is the dashboard, Jeremy. Now stage is yours. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so the UI has come a long way, and I think there's still some improvements that we can make. I'll say that we love feedback. I don't take any of this stuff personally. So if you're ever confused, you don't know what to do when you're in the platform, I want to know about that because I want to make sure our designer knows to just make it clear on where to go and what to do once you land in the platform. But I'll kind of walk through just from a start. When you land in Link Rocket for the first time, you'll land on a page like this where you can add your first project, and all projects are tied to a domain name. So it's kind of a one-to-one relationship where you'll create a project for maybe your own website, or if you've got client websites that you're going to load in, you'd create a new project for each one of them. And then all of the activity that you do, whether it's building links, tracking rankings, or writing content, it's all going to be tied to the project that you're in. So we've kind of like siloed all of these activities into projects. So, you would load in your domain here, name your project, and then we ask, do you want your website to appear in our backlink exchange? You can say no, that's fine. And you can still build links to that website. You just won't receive any backlink requests from other users. The part that you'd be missing out on is, one, you can earn credits when you build links for other users. And two, you can also earn funds, which I'll go over in a moment, where the funds are used. That's assuming you have a paid subscription or this lifetime deal. Free users obviously wouldn't earn the funds to be used in the marketplace. So I've already added my first project for Link Rocket. So you would see it show up here. The unverified just means I have not verified that I'm the owner, and that's only necessary if you want your website to appear in the exchange. So we're just going to ignore that for now. Over some time, I just loaded this in right before the webinar started, but over some time, these metrics would appear. So this is your authority score, domain authority, referring domains, and then trust flow. And then you'd have your marketplace activity and your exchange activity, incoming and outgoing. So if you want to exchange backlinks or request a backlink, you've got filters up here where you can search through categories, tags, languages, countries, and then you can kind of narrow down your domain authority range and referring domain range. Can also use the search here to find. So, let's say I'm looking for marketing websites in the United States. And I'm like, okay, this is in line with what I'm looking for. We've made it very simple where you just hit request. And then as we were just discussing, you would put in your internal link. I mean, you could put in your homepage, but ideally you'd want to put in a link to an internal resource, and then the anchor text. What's the ideal anchor text that you'd like? And the last option down here is just how closely related you would like the anchor text to be. So flexible, you're giving the publisher full authority to change up that anchor text. They might make it similar to your request, but they can work it into an existing article a lot easier. And I'd say this would increase the chances of this backlink request getting accepted the more flexible you are. But if you're like, no, I want it to be exactly, Jeremy's cleaning service, well, they got to find a way to work that into their existing content. That might be difficult depending on what you're requesting. So just something to keep in mind if requests are getting rejected or not accepted. The more flexible you are here, the better. So once you send out that request, the user will have 4 days to accept or decline that request. And then once they've accepted it, they have 48 hours to build the request. Now, we may play around with those timeframes a little bit. If you accept something on a Friday, it kind of puts people that are, in the office Monday through Friday in a tough spot. But as of right now, that's those are the timeframes. They've got the 4 days, and then if they accept it, they have 48 hours to complete the backlink.
Okay.
And then, once they complete it, they would earn credits. Those credits appear down here on the bottom left. And then they don't need to request a backlink from you. They can if they want. They wouldn't really know who they're requesting from, but they can take those credits and just go search through the database and find a backlink that fits their needs specifically. It has nothing to do with going back to that same user.
Noted.
So and then here you can see your incoming and outgoing requests. They would all be populated here. You'd be able to see the status of each, and we're going to be revising the layouts in both of these screens just to have some further information in there. Under Marketplace, this is if you don't want to be bothered with sending out and waiting for people to accept your backlink request in the exchange, and you just want to go for higher authority, more of a guarantee, you can come into the Marketplace and you'll see there's a price next to every website here. Very similar process as before, except you're paying a fee. And again, these are a lot more guaranteed because we have relationships with all of these sites in here. They've already agreed to allow this this relationship of us building a backlink on the website. So you can sort and see that we tried to really provide a good value here. We have, I believe there's well over 1,000 options under $100. Wow. So, that was the thing that we didn't want to get into is, $150, $200 backlinks as like a starting point is what you'll see often in other marketplaces. Yeah. So, there's quite a few options under the $100 mark.
And there were certain questions, I think, about the categories, right? Because let's say many people they work in, let's say, the plumbing industry, right? That's what, or you can say home repairs. So would they find what they're looking for in this, or it's like their categories would be aggregated, or there's a big branch of category which kind of falls under that, or
Yeah, so the tags are where you can get more specific. So if I type in home, for instance, and I should back up. When you add your website in, we run it through this automation where we use AI to determine your category, and then we suggest a few tags to you. So that part is kind of done automatically. You can then edit those categories and tags. You can add to them if there's a couple additional ones that you want to add. So, it's flexible in terms of how granular you can get. But just in the tags, you can see there's custom home builders, DIY and home projects, home
Yeah, got it.
appraisers,
Awesome.
home
Perfect.
remodel. There's just a ton, and it gets very granular. But the
Yeah,
tags are kind of where you would do that.
yeah. Makes sense. That's great. So if we had to imagine, there would be over 100 categories or 200 categories, or less than that.
Well, the categories are more broad.
Hmm.
Let me go back in here. So these are all the categories. Those are predefined.
Got it.
So
Yeah,
like
and
mobile
then
services.
below that there will be tags. Got it. Makes
Mhm.
sense. Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect.
All right. So yeah, so the marketplace again is just much more guaranteed, and there are much higher authority websites in here. Traffic wise, a lot of people use that as a metric to determine. Obviously Google finds this website valuable. People are going to this website. It's not a website that's built for the purpose of building links. That was another thing where you can go to a blog and you can tell right away that the whole purpose of that blog is to sell backlinks on it. It's not a business first and foremost, and then they also
Yeah,
do
yeah,
some link building. It's like every article is all over the place. It's not really specific to a certain niche,
yeah.
and they're just writing articles, junk articles, for the purpose of building links.
Yeah, yeah, and people still fall for it, right? I mean, if you see all of the traditional SEOs, hey, let's do the social bookmarking. Hey, let's go and build a link to this directory, which it's a crypto directory, it's a
Yeah,
crypto site adding an article about food. So that's where the things get like crazy, and then they think, why am I not ranking on Google? So I don't know why they still do it.
yeah. No, that was definitely a focus of ours, is just providing little higher quality sites. We weren't going for quantity, we're going for quality. So we could easily have 40,000 websites in our database, but
Yeah,
there would be so much junk that you'd have to sort through. And, we're just really trying to focus on the quality of the sites first and foremost. All right. So then we move through, we've got the rank tracker. So the first time you come in to the rank tracker, you would add a new target group, and we allow you to track based on device level. So, you could track desktop, mobile, or tablet. And then you can also search based on a specific market. So, maybe San Diego, you have got a local business that's located in San Diego. You can specify that here. And then you'd add all of your keywords into the platform, and you can track the same groups of keywords, but on multiple devices or in multiple locations. So, if
yeah,
you've got, let's say 2 locations for a local business, one in Chicago, one in New York, you can load both sets of keywords into the platform, specifying both of those cities, and it would track them separately as if people were kind of searching in those local markets. So I'm not going to set up a new project here just because it does take a few moments to run the first scan. Now the content
nice.
writer, so this is the AI content writer, and I'll walk through. I've already generated an article here that we can jump into, but I want to walk through kind of the creation process.
Okay.
The idea behind this is when you receive a backlink request, we talked about maybe you don't have content already on your site to fit in your specific request. I don't have, if you want a backlink for cleaning services or something a little more specific, I don't really have a place to work that in. So I say, okay, well, let me generate a new blog post, and it'll allow me to, work that backlink in. So here's where you can come in, specify the model, GPT-4 or Claude. You can select different types of articles. So you got blog posts, product roundups. You can rewrite blog posts, listicles, these local places roundups where it's like, best parks in Chicago, or best restaurants in Chicago, those types of posts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The
Um,
listicles.
yeah. And then specify a title. I'll just put something in there. And your keyword. Choose your language. You can specify the point of view, the tone of voice. So if you want, formal, casual, professional. Our Galaxy grade is essentially a final pass once the article's been generated, and it sort of breaks up any redundancy, and it will, rewrite complex paragraphs. You can, hover over here and learn more about what that does exactly, but it really just kind of refines the final output.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can choose whether or not you want to include an FAQ section.
Okay.
And
I think
then
it's good if they add the FAQs, so I think that would help them rank for more keywords, right? Due to the yeah.
the FAQ.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I mean I think it's recommended that they add an FAQ section, right? I mean,
Yeah.
just for better SEO.
Yeah, and especially with GEO, the generative engine optimization becoming more popular, having the FAQ definitely helps, because you're asking a specific question and then answering that specific question, and that's the type of content, assuming that you add the schema and everything, that will get picked up by like Google's AI overview and some of these other
Awesome.
AI tools.
Yep, makes sense.
So finally, you'd come into the optimization part where you can, leave it as default, do AI powered, where it's going to kind of optimize the article based on the keyword that you've given it as a focus. And then you'd put in your, if you want images or YouTube videos, you can select auto, or just do images or videos. So I'm going to do images, premium, do photo, and select, let's say, 4 images. And then for article length, depending on how detailed you want the article to be, you can dive, go all the way up to, nearly 3,000 words, or just have it be a shorter post, which is like 2 or 3 sections and, 400 to 900 words. Real-time data, where it'll cite sources. So this is going to kind of be a little more in-depth, and then have links, outbound links to various sources throughout the article. And then these are just a few other options where you can include key takeaways, disable the introduction, conclusion. These are all kind of like standard AI writer features where, some people don't want to incorporate those features because it looks, very similar to a lot of AI generated content. So you can disable all of that. And then finally you would hit generate content. And I'm going to jump into what an article would look like. This is one I just generated right before the call. So it kind of naturally incorporated these images throughout. You'll see it cites different sources automatically. But you could edit this article to your heart's content. You could build a link right in here that you're planning on, a link that was requested from you from the dashboard here. And then as of right now, you would just copy this into WordPress or whatever website platform you're using.
Yeah.
If moving forward, we plan to have integrations with WordPress and Wix and some of these other tools. But as of right now, you would basically just copy this once you're finished editing it right over to your website directly.
Awesome. Yeah, that this looks good. I think this whole completes the whole workflow by having the AI article. So even if you're, let's say, submitting your anchor link, right, to this article, or even I mean, this question was even, I think, can someone submit a blog post? I think if they're exchanging links, like I think that's what they can do, right? I mean, if they have to add a URL, they can just add a URL, right? Any blog post as well, or not just the website.
Yeah. So if from the other side, I guess is what you're asking, if I'm about to post this article on my website,
Yeah.
Once it goes
And I
live,
want links to it, and I want links to this page.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So now it's like a very thorough post, and I'm ready to build links to it. I would just grab the URL for this post here and then go into the Exchange and paste that link in there with anchor text that relates to um, building backlinks. And there you go. You can start building 20, 30, 40 links in a matter of days to this new article that you just wrote.
Awesome. That looks good. Great, great. Cool. I have more questions, and I think there are a few more things which you can show. But before that, we have an amazing Rocketeer with us who had like 4 to 5 questions about SEO, and he's very, very interested to get the product, and he will get this after the webinar. So his name is Gabor, sorry, and he is a great guy, very good guy. So he has few questions. One of them is this, which is will there be any notification plan to show new relevant link exchanges? I'm sorry, I'll show them again. Yeah, you can see it. Will there be any notifications planned to show new link exchange opportunities appeared in the same niche?
Yeah, so we do have this planned, and it kind of ties in with we have a feature that we've kind of been working on where we want to get a better idea, a deeper understanding of all of the websites in our platform. So rather than for instance, just like a cleaning website or cleaning services, really getting a deeper understanding of the different services that are performed and the different topics that are covered. It'll be a much more comprehensive list. And then sending out kind of automated emails where it's like, you've got a website on interior design or real estate, and this person has a blog article on how to improve showings during real estate by cleaning and by cleaning your house first before showings, just where these two topics kind of align, but normally you wouldn't have drawn that conclusion because you're like, oh, this one's in real estate and this business is in cleaning services. So yes, we plan to kind of implement that feature, those two features together, where we have a deeper understanding of the topics, and then we can start sending out emails and things to let users know some opportunities that may be waiting for them in the platform.
Awesome. And yeah, continuing to that question he had, I'm showing you another one. It says, and it's a situation. So if I predefine what's the minimum criteria of backlinks I want, the exchange sites, can I have a weekly notification of the new relevant sites that are fit, good for my niche and fits criteria?
Yeah, so I think he's asking like how frequently he would be notified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. And something that we've kind of discussed with just emails in general, because I think as these features grow, you don't want 4 emails being sent out a day. And currently, you get emails when a user accepts requests a backlink from you. So if you have 20 sites, 30 sites, 50 sites in the platform, that can add up. So we have been talking about ways to control how many emails come through. So maybe you just want a weekly digest for certain things like the feature that was just mentioned.
Yeah.
Hopefully you could control that in your settings.
Yep. Makes sense. Yep. And we go to the third question from Kapoor. Can we define what link we want to include? For example, link what the exchange site wants. Yeah, I think that's what you can do in the URL, right? The anchor text or the URL. That's where you can define the
Yeah,
link. Yeah.
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 So
So
the
yeah, you
link,
can do that. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I missed you.
no, no, I was going to say the target. You can specify the target for the link where the link
Hmm.
is pointing to on your website, whether it's the home page or an internal page.
This is about the article writer. So can we add our own instruction? Like I have around 1500 words of four steps prompt I use for Claude, and I want the same quality output.
As of right now, no. There's no place to add in your own prompts. So I would say you can play around with the settings um, within, our different criteria. You can play around with it and try to achieve something close to it. Um, or what some people do is they kind of, once they've generated the article with all of the data and the sources and everything in it, um, you can plug it into whatever tool you're using or Claude and kind of have it revise the article.
Hmm. Makes sense. And he asked the question about the negative keywords for the content. It's in continuation with the article writer, I think. That's
Mm-hmm.
what he's asking. Can we add negative keywords which they don't want inside the article?
As of right now, no, but that's a good point, and I will chat with the development team to see if that's something that we can add.
Hmm. Perfect. Yeah, I think that even makes sense. Let's say if someone doesn't want, like that keyword to rank for, I mean, they might have a conflict. So I
Yeah,
think
or
that
even
might be useful to
competitor.
just
Yeah, maybe even competitors and stuff. You don't want them mentioned in your article.
Yep, yep, makes sense. Yeah, I think that can even come in exclude keywords and stuff like that. That exclude this keyword from being added inside the article. So
Mm-hmm.
that works. All right. So yeah, I think let's tell people about the rank tracker a little bit more. Um, I mean, I think we have mentioned it on the deal page that the rank tracker. I think it updates weekly, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ranks of the positions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Makes sense. And can people like I think there are multiple workspaces, right? That people can just set up. It's multiple projects inside Link Rocket, and if they have two clients, and depending upon your plan, they can add those number of projects into it and operate separately. Correct?
Yeah, so each client would be a new project tied
Yeah.
to a specific domain, and then within each project, you can add various keyword groups. So I was mentioning earlier about how you could track multiple groups, maybe based on location or device type. Those can all be listed within the same project.
Makes sense. Uh, I think the people had a lot of questions about what if they build the link and the link drops, right, or the link is 404. So how do you deal with that?
So we have a service that initially will go check to make sure that that backlink appears. So when the other user marks it as complete, we will scan the URL that they said the backlink is on to make sure that it's live. So we're working on improving that service to make it a little more reliable. And then what we plan to do is kind of extend it out for paid users. We would continue to ping that URL on a periodic basis, maybe it's biweekly or weekly, for a period of time, and then notify both parties if that backlink is no longer live.
Okay, so they will be notified. I mean, between they can get a notification via email that this is not active anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
Okay.
notify the site that had built the link initially. Sometimes
Hmm.
these things are done unintentionally, where they maybe rewrote the blog article, and they accidentally removed the link. So
Yeah.
we've seen this happen a couple of times where they go fix it immediately because it was accidental. They're not trying to be malicious and just go delete all of the backlinks after they were completed.
Yeah, I think you even have a challenge because the industry in itself is very, if I say, there are a lot of dodgy people, they're
Hmm.
very shady people inside. So even I think even if we had 1,000 sites or 2,000 sites, there will always be.
Bad actors. Did I lose you? Oh, we might have lost him. There he is.
Yeah, had some Wi-Fi trick there, but
Yeah, no
all
worries.
good now. Yeah, so I think, yeah, where were we? I forgot.
We were talking about bad actors with removing
Bad
links and
actors.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. Even I mean, so that's the question people had, that okay, even after having all of that, how does Link Rocket? I mean, for you it might be less, but there are always actors which will do bad shit. So, you
Yeah.
yeah. So you cannot control a lot of that.
Yeah, and the goal is to kind of like automate a lot of that. We don't want the users to feel like they have to continue to go check these backlinks.
Yeah.
I know there's companies out there where you can buy backlinks, and if one is taken down in a period of time, they'll give you a refund or build
Yeah.
another link for you. But you
Yeah.
have to go check yourself and monitor that. So we're trying to automate that process, and again, it's usually done unintentionally. So sending an alert to both parties, hey, we're working on
Yeah.
fixing this. Give it like a week, but then refunding credits or whatever we need to do,
Yeah.
charging the credits to the person who had built the link,
Hmm.
and just trying to make the situation right.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Anything else? I mean, Jeremy, you want to showcase people which I think is hidden and they haven't seen yet. I mean, tell them about the how do they redeem? Let's say they get credits and fun. That's very cool feature.
What can you repeat that?
The cool feature. I mean, the credits. I mean, they get funds, right? The moment they do an exchange, they get certain reward, I think.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things I didn't cover. One is you can earn funds. So if you build a backlink for another user, then
Mm-hmm.
you'll earn credits. And most of the people that are on the lifetime deal, you have um, enough backlink requests included in your plan to where most of you wouldn't even touch the credits. And I'll
Yeah.
explain how that works. You get a number of backlink requests included every single month before even touching your credits. So your credits will just kind of like build up and they sit there, they don't expire. Each month you would have, whatever tier you're in, requests that are included for free. And by the way, those are only completed requests. So if you send out 5 requests and 2 get rejected, well, those 2 are back in your allotment for the month that you can, resend out. If you build a link for someone else, you'll earn the credits, and you'll also earn a couple of dollars. I think it's $2 right now. So every single time you do that, that builds up, and then you can come into the marketplace and use those funds
Wow.
to buy backlinks. So if you rack up $100, that's at least 2 backlinks that you can purchase in the marketplace. And then the final thing that you cannot see that's happening in the background is all completed links, whether they're coming from the marketplace or the exchange, we submit to an indexing service so that we make sure that the URL where your link was built gets indexed. And usually that happens within, a couple of days.
That's a cool feature.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sometimes people are building links on existing content. Maybe the post was written like a year ago, or could be longer.
Yeah.
So we just kind of make sure that it's indexed.
Yep. Makes sense. Awesome. That's good. I think amazing, Jeremy. Great stuff. And let people know what's coming next in Rocket. What does the roadmap look like? What are you guys working for the next 6 months? And let's say by holidays, by Christmas, what can they see more inside the Rocket?
So aside from some of the updates that we discussed today, we are working on a Teams feature where you can add team members.
Awesome.
Right now, if you run an agency, you might have various people inside the agency that are doing the actual link building. Maybe you hire a VA. Now you can give them access right through your account, and they'll have access to build the links. They'll get the notifications in their email, and they can do all the the back and forth in the platform. Some of the other features that we're working on is we want to have a tighter integration between, let's say, the AI content writer and the link building. So if you've got an open request, I'm in Link Rocket right now. If I have an open request to build a link for someone, what we hope to integrate is a more seamless relationship between the two, where when the article's written, all in one motion, it incorporates the anchor text and the backlink right to that other user's website.
Makes sense.
And then
awesome.
One more thing I'll add to that is also with the rank tracker. Right now you can track your rankings, obviously, but if we could plot out when you built links for that domain so that you can see a correlation between, your rankings going up, and then on that same graph, you'd see when you built backlinks to that website.
Great. Awesome. I think, that's all. That's good information. And for everyone, the deal is live. Go and grab it. I think we're just getting started with Link Rocket on Rocket Hub as well. So it's going to go for long term. Jeremy is here to answer questions. He's everywhere on Facebook. So you can find him in groups. His support is open. Link Rocket support is pretty responsive. And if you have any questions before you purchase the deal, or even if you have a lot of money to go and subscribe to Jeremy's monthly plans, go for it. So anything you have, any questions, if you want to put on a deal page, we have a section where you can ask Jeremy questions. He would answer anything you have. So I think Jeremy, pretty good product. We look forward to selling it more. And thank you for taking our time today. And before we go, any question, any last statement for all the Rocketeers that you would like to give and say bye to them?
Yeah, no, I just appreciate everybody joining, taking time out of their day. And as Karan has said, if you've got any questions, reach out. Would love to chat. Any feedback, whatever you've got, I'd love to hear it.
Yep, because that's one reason Jeremy's doing it is, of course, number one, to get more users, number two, to get more feedback because product is still developing and it still has a long way to go to become robust than what it is right now. So anything that you feel, because I think you people keep using SEOs. SEOs use a lot of products. So if you have anything which you think can be added, please give it to Jeremy and he will kind of consider it. All right.
Absolutely.
All right, Terry, thanks a lot. And I think it's an afternoon where you are in
Yes.
the US. So we wish you a good rest of the day. And thank you so much for doing it again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, we will see you in the next webinar with another great team partner like Jeremy. So till then, I think we'll say bye bye to everyone. Thank you
All
for
right.
joining.
Bye.
Bye.